Hey y'all, what's going on? This here's a Sarge over at GI Mechanics Scale Modeling. Yeah, this here is a answer to a community question. I was just sitting on a porcelain throne and come across Jason over at Blue Ox's community question, and I figured, you know what? I'm close to the computer, so let me get over here and answer the question. And uh, Yeah, I was getting ready to jump in the shower anyway, and yes, I am naked, and yes, I am drinking coffee, but that's another story. Don't worry, I'm not going to stand up. So let me take a couple minutes to answer the question or kind of discuss it a little bit. Uh, is it bad to think that way? Is it good? Is your build good enough to bring to a show? I mean, yes, I think you should bring your builds to a show. Now, there's a couple different caveats to that. Are you doing it for straight competition? Or are you doing it just to show and hang out with your friends? Or are you doing it for awards? Because there are no perfect builds. I mean, I don't have any. And my general rule of thumb is build for you. Is build what you want, how you want. Fuck the haters. They're going to hate regardless. So just do that. But at the same time, you want to go to shows. My big thing about the shows is more of an esprit de corps. Like you're going to a show, you've been working on this build, and it's your best work, but you always want to keep on improving on your last build. You know, that's a big thing. Like when I started this channel, shit, and this kind of builds up into it. So I started this channel almost 5 years ago. I was in a accident back in 2020, rolled a military truck. Long and the short of that, I was in a wheelchair 4.5 months, and I needed something to keep the demons at bay other than drinking and doing physical therapy. I built models. I got back and I had a couple models in my stash. And when I got to them models, I started watching YouTube because, like I said, I had to do digital work, still being an NCO and a National Guard at the time. I still had to keep track of people and do the National Guard shit. But at that time, it was during the pandemic, so it was digital and stuff like that. So normally I just throw my brown T-shirt on with my ACU top, or I'm sorry, my OCP top, and just basically wear like no pants, kind of like I am right now, but that's another story. And I would do the Zoom calls for the Army. Way to go, digital fucking military. But that's neither here nor there. So I had the laptop and I was watching YouTube while I'd be building models. And I seen a lot of awesome content creators. I'm not going to name them all, but kind of my first like 100 subs and friends and stuff like that. A lot of the guys, I got to keep in touch with them. I met him at the show. Fred Henry was the one who invited me to my very first show, and he invited me down to go to Acme back in, I want to say it was 2020 or 2021. I went down to the Acme Model Car Show, my first show. Now, I never built that great when I was in my teens. I mean, I had a couple okay builds. I never had the airbrush. Wait, I take that back. I had one of them tester can airbrushes that I could never get the paint right or the spray worth shit. So I just went rattle can because rattle can was cheap and you could paint like 2, 3 models with like a can or more. So it was like best bang for the buck than spending the money at there. But with kind of getting there, you always want to build on the next one and make it better. Mine, I just took the red tube, didn't know there was other glue other than a tester's red tube. I couldn't stand that blue tube shit. That was like fucking non toxic. Give me the red tube shit. That shit was great for sniffing as well. So anyway, always build what you want. Fuck the haters, like I said in the beginning. So I went down there to Acme and I had more fun at Acme meeting all the different YouTubers and all the different model builders. It was an awesome time. Like, I didn't care that my builds, well, it's an NNL style, which is non-judged, which not like I'd be in any sort of competition down there anyway, but competition is good. Competition is actually a good thing, but it's also keeps progressing forward a lot of your builds, pushing you to build a lot better. But that's not everything. I took my builds, which were complete and utter shit, and I threw them on a table with a lot of big name guys who've been doing it for a while. Flawless paint, flawless aftermarket, a lot of different stuff. And I learned so much that show that I started looking for local shows around the area. And up here in our area, even though it's shrunk over the years, but it's still, we're trying to get it to make a comeback, is the Syracuse Mini Nationals. Was a great show. Chuck Jorgensen over at Styrene Benders Garage, he had a big hand in that in the 90s, late 80s and 90s. Him and his brother Jack ran that show, and it was good. They had a lot of models, and that was kind of a big time for model building. I went to that show, and I enjoyed it. I didn't do it for competition, but I brought my USAC build, my 70 Roadrunner, to that show. And you know what the funny story is? That totally blindsided me, but I ended up taking a third place in a Mopar category for that USAC build. I never in a million years thought that I would take any hardware. I did it more for the esprit de corps because I also am a content creator. I have a channel, and I enjoy going to shows to talk shop, meet my friends and other model builders in person. And that to me, that's more than any award can actually give you, is meeting the other model builders, hanging out with them, picking their brain on different types of builds, like just interacting with them. And me, those y'all who met me, how I am on YouTube and how I am in real life, there's not really a difference. I am a lot better in person than on YouTube. So, and those of you who know, you know. It's just, I'm not playing with a full deck up there, but that's another story. It's keep on the question as far as the thought of that. But I'll take any of my builds and throw them on a table regardless. All it is somebody could see something that I built and say, hey, how did you do that? Prime example, I never used magnets before, but I've heard people talk about magnets. Hey, you know what these things are on this USAC build? Magnets. You know what I got here in the back of the wheel? Magnets. Hey, guess what? Let's try something different. Hey, this magnet works out well because, boom, tires on there, and it also doubles as giving me the space that I need to clear the fender well. So it doubles as a spacer too. I never even thought about that. And then when I go to take this to shows, I could take this tire off and I could put it in a box, and I ain't got to worry about breaking my axles like what happened with my USAC build. My 70 Roadrunner. Hell, that 70 Roadrunner, I ended up being in Model Car Magazine. Like, totally did not. And there were a lot of big name content creators in that particular thing. And I was one of the 26 that was in that because it was different, not your run of the mill. But always find your niche and kind of figure out a way to improve it. Always take your model and build for yourself. But at the same time, also taking it to a show, have thick skin. Because you got to take the good criticism with the bad criticism. Constructive criticism is the best. If you see something you like on someone else's build, go up there and ask them. And if they're worth their salt, they'll tell you how they did. They'd be more than happy to talk about their model and stuff like that and how they did different stuff. That is the one big thing that I found. And I've learned so much from every one of you guys out there that build. I have learned something from someone, and I always try to pay that forward to whoever. Big thing is always stay humble, offer advice, and don't get butthurt if somebody comes up and trashes your model. Just cut away from the negativity. Fuck the haters. They're going to hate regardless. And, you know, if you really want to see how your builds kind of do, go to an IPMS show. Acme was more of a People's Choice / NNL style, like display only, like People's Choice. They vote for whoever. Shit. Go there. But go to an IPMS. The IPMS shows are a lot of the rivet counters, and you got to be shit hot. And, well, yes and no. You don't have to be shit hot, but you definitely got to make sure everything's there, because with the rivet counters, like, oh, this particular panel had 28 rivets. I see you ended up sanding one off, so you have 26 rivets. Your model is trash because you only have 26 of 28 rivets. Okay, motherfucker. It ain't my fault I got a little heavy-handed with that sandpaper and I took off a couple rivets off the corner. The panel's there. It's accurate. But that also kind of leads into the next thing of judges. You could build something and they might be not looking for something shiny. You could say, like, have 10 cars in a category and you build that one rusty, weathered out car. And everyone else has got a fancy car with, like, high gloss, shiny paint, blah, blah, blah. And your car ends up taking an award because the judge was actually, you know what? This is different. This is nice. It shows, like, real character, like rust and oil streaks and everything else. So let's, you know, I like that. That's going to get high marks for that because they kind of did something different outside the box. So it also depends on the judges too. But like I said, more about esprit de corps, constructive criticism, accept it, don't get butthurt, and competition. It should be fun, but it also helps make your builds better, as in, like, pushing forward, like, technology and everything like that, make you want to build better off the last one. So it's like, I built this particular build, and then we're going to go and try to make this one better. Always try to improve your paint, like my USAC 55 Ford pickup. I think to date, that was my best paint job to date, regardless. Like, that orange paint job was my best and one of my cleaner, not perfect, but cleaner paint jobs to date. I mean, I was impressed with it. A lot of people like, holy shit, from where I started, when I got back into the hobby after my accident, to where I am now, I always strive to do something better than what I started with. So I was back here, and now you can see I'm up here. Now I've dabbled in airbrush and using nail polish for different colors. Like, here's a prime example. You know, boom. This here is at Super Bloom paint or nail polish. And it's got like a pearlescent color to it, and it's sharp. And again, Fred Henry told me about it. He was showing it to me, and then I seen the color of it, and I'm like, ooh, I like it. So I went and got some of the nail polish, and then I tested it on a spoon, and then I went and sprayed that body for Olds 442 for the Olds 442. That's color the body's in. So I mean, you know, I don't worry. I guess I don't know. I guess it basically depends on the person. I don't necessarily worry about what people think of my builds. You either love them or hate them. I'm still going to go to the show. I'm going to hang out with my friends, other modelers, pick their brains on stuff, see how they did theirs, get ideas from them, bounce ideas off of each other, and maybe I can be a help to them, and maybe something I did, I tell them how to do it, and they incorporate it in their model, and it elevates their model up to another level, or vice versa. If I can get something into, you know, like a candy paint job, I know I'm going to keep on going back to this. So this is flat black with a metallic, gray metallic on the bottom two tone. And all this is just basically candy paint sprayed over flat black and a silver metallic. The decals are white, and all it is just candy sprayed over. And it come out awesome. The paint job come out awesome. Because in the right light, it looks flat black, and then in the other light, it looks blue. So I gotta get some pictures of it outside, but like trying to not get off subject here. Holy shit, I'm all over the place. But anyway, yeah, so that's going to be my thing. I'm sorry, kind of been bouncing around too much, but kind of answer Jason's question. It is kind of bad to think that way. Always stay positive. Fuck the haters. Remember, you build something, throw it on the table. It might not be your best work, but throw it on the table because you never know. The judge could be looking for something different that day. Or if it's just there, you might have a modeler see it, say, hey, oh, I seen you did this. Oh, well, I see you got this here. Take the constructive criticism. And, if you want to improve on your models, then, take the advice. Stay humble. Yeah. I mean, that's basically what it boils down to. Hopefully I didn't bore you all too much in this video. It's almost 16, or damn, almost 17 minutes. So, anyway, oh, excuse me. Sarge's going to finish his coffee, get off here, and jump in the shower and wash his nasty ass. And, yeah. So, anyway, until next time, this here is a Sarge over at GI Mechanic Scale Modeling. Hopefully I answered the question. If not, maybe I just talked like a person with a paper asshole. But until next time, this here's a Sarge, and I am out. See ya.